Yes, something new. I'm actually outside for once. I'm actually on my way to Central Library. Going to study there for a little bit. Don't know how long yet, but should be a bit of a different environment to study Swedish in. So here we are. It's a lovely building, as you can see. But yeah, let's get the study started. So in my previous Swedish video, I had started the complete Swedish textbook, which was the first kind of formal study that I've done in Swedish. During that video, I got most of the way through chapter 1, and I wanted to make sure I completed that first chapter today. The main thing left to cover was the present tense conjugation, so from infinitive to present. And in Swedish, the conjugation is actually pretty simple, but important nonetheless, and of course there are some exceptions to the rule. Like at this stage I wouldn't say I'm going to fully remember the rules, but it's definitely good going forward to keep it in mind when I do come across verbs. The other thing to cover was country names and language names, which of course is very important for introducing yourself, finding out where people are from, so kind of a lot of things that are involved in basic conversations in either example dialogues or textbook dialogues. Probably the main thing from this is that there's a different way to say nationality depending on whether you are a male or a female. The differences are pretty regular, so it's not too bad, and it's a good vocab builder. There's also actually some speaking exercises at the end of the chapter, and they were actually useful for testing my Swedish so far. So giving my name, jag heter Ethan, say how are you, hur mår du? Say yes please and no thanks. So ja tack, nej tack. Ask if the person in front of me speaks English. Talar du svenska? And to say where I'm from, jag kommer from England. So the chapter aims were to be able to greet somebody, use the present tense, and use correct word order to ask and answer questions. I feel as though I have achieved that, and that I can actually accomplish all of those things. I'd say by this point I'm actually comfortable with the contents of this chapter. The only things I do need to go back on is the vocabulary. So the vocabulary that I listed down in my previous study with me, yeah, I need to work on them because I haven't actually translated them to either a word list or flashcards yet. So once I get around to that, then I'm pretty much fine with this chapter. So I also managed to start chapter 2, which I'm actually really happy about, because ideally I will be able to get chapter 2 done this week. So chapter 2 is focused around family and also counting. So lots of vocabulary words for family members like aunt, uncle and grandparents, and also numbers so that you can actually convey how many you have when speaking to somebody. So I have 2 aunties or I have 3 children. I'm familiar with numbers 1 to 10 in Swedish, but I haven't really got used to the 20s, 30s, 40s kind of thing. So they're covered in this chapter, and I really need to actually make sure I get them down fully. But yeah, looking forward to carrying on chapter 2 on Friday.
Ladies and gentlemen, the library is closing in 10 minutes.
Once I got home, I actually carried on with Memorize for Swedish. I completed my reviews and also learned a decent amount of new words, and my word count is up to 89, which I'm pretty happy with actually. I'm probably going to use this as my official word count estimate, so I'll keep this in mind when thinking about how many words I do know. But even though I will pick up other words from other places like Link and the textbook, I'll kind of use this as a gauge to roughly know how many words I know. All in all, I'm actually really happy with how Swedish went today. Got what I wanted to get done in terms of the textbook, also got my minimum requirement vocab reviews down, and managed to introduce some new words. Now on to my other required learning of the day. It was Spanish Duolingo and Spanish Memrise. I'll talk about Memrise first because there wasn't really a lot to do. It was actually only two words to review, so that was very quickly done, and that will mean there'll be a lot more to review tomorrow, so I have that to look forward to. As for Duolingo, I've actually caught up with where I was before, so I've fully covered all of the things that I am comfortable with, or relatively comfortable with, in terms of vocabulary, and I'm more into the stage of sentence building. I've kind of got past the stage of simply just words, and now I'm into the lessons where it's a bit more sentence building, so that's good fun, and yeah, I can finally make progress with the tree. So all in all, a positive day. I got all that I set out to do done, and yeah, look forward to tomorrow. I'm going to be studying Japanese again, and that should be interesting because I haven't been doing that properly for quite a long time, and it's also a much higher level than my Swedish and Spanish. So the study will be a bit of a different style, but yeah, it will be challenging but also fun. That's it for me today, and see you tomorrow.